What is up? Today we're going to go over some common phrases in Spanish. Now, if you know me, you know that my way of learning and my way of teaching isn't to just memorize phrases and words because that's not going to lead you to being conversational. And the whole point of learning Spanish is to be actually able to use it. So, I don't like just memorizing. So, we're not just going to memorize phrases today. We're actually going to break them down and understand what they mean so that you can replicate the phrase and just slightly modify it instead of, let's say, for example, in this case, instead of saying, what do you think? By understanding how the phrase works, you're going to be able to say, what does he think? What do they think? Or whatever. So we're going to start with this first phrase. What do you think? So the word do, that's a question word that we use in English. Do you think something or does he think something? That doesn't exist in Spanish. So we literally just can ignore that, which just makes our job easier. So we come here and it's what you think. That's how we're going to say it in Spanish. So we know the word for what is que, you is tú, and the verb for to think is pensar. Okay, pensar is to think. This is what's known as the verb infinitive. So verb infinitive just means it's not conjugated. Like to think, we're not using it. If we try to use it, it would be I think, he thinks with an S. That verb modification is called the conjugation. It also exists in Spanish. So in Spanish, the modification would be piensas. Piensas. Okay, with tú, it's always going to end with S. If you come here, this is the present tense conjugation chart. For tú, we're not going to go into so many details right now, but just know that there's AR and then there's ER and IR verbs. AR has its own ending, ER and IR have their own endings. So in this case, pensar is an AR verb, so it's going to end with AS. So, ¿qué tú piensas? And in Spanish, you can just drop that tú. This is known as the subject. You can just drop it, and so it just becomes ¿qué piensas? ¿Qué piensas? Next, and don't worry about memorizing everything that we're going over. Just understand the process of how to understand what a phrase means. Yes, I ate. So I ate, we're not saying I eat in the present tense, we're saying I ate in the past tense. So yes is sí. Sí. Yo, and then comer is the verb for to eat. Again, not conjugated. So we have to go into the past tense here. This is the preterite past tense. So ER verb, comer. For yo, I ate. Yo comí. This is how you conjugate it. It's very small on your screen, but that's how it is. So yo comí. So it would be sí. And we can drop the yo, the subject. We can drop it. And now it's just sí, comí. Okay, you can even say ya comí. Ya means already. Ya comí. Okay, next one. Let's erase this and then go into the next one, and it is thank you. Probably already know that this is gracias. There's no breakdown there. That's just pure memorization of vocabulary. That's bad. So that is bad. 3 words, that is bad. So you just have to know the vocabulary here. That is eso, is, es, bad, malo. So you just have to know you just have to know the words. So of course in learning a language there's going to be memorization of vocabulary. Eso es malo. Always. Okay, again, just pure memorization. Always is the word siempre. So siempre, I don't know, I'm trying to combine things that we've already seen. Tú siempre piensas que ya comí. I'm just combining a bunch of phrases there that we already went over. You always think, remember that from the what do you think? ¿Qué piensas? So tú piensas, tú siempre piensas, you always think that already I ate. Really, that means you always think I already ate. It's a completely random phrase, but I'm just trying to combine stuff so that we can actually use it and build off of what we're learning here. Thank you already know is gracias. Yes, I ate. We're seeing it again. What is it? You can pause the video. It's sí, comí. Of course, there's multiple ways of saying of course. You can say por supuesto. The one that I like is, and the one that I use is claro que sí. Claro really is like clear, clearly, claro. So, claro que sí, clear that yes, of course. Somebody asks me something, I say it's clear that it's a yes. That means of course. Claro que sí. The answer key has por supuesto, but they both work. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Where are you from? This one's a little bit interesting. I'll show you the answer, then I'll explain it. It's de donde eres. So where are you from? The word where is donde. The are, that actually comes from the verb to be. So in Spanish, there's two to be's. It's weird, but to be, let me just say this. To be is conjugated as I am, you are, he is, she is as well, we are, they, you all are, and they are. So in Spanish, it's yo soy, tú eres, él or ella es. So that's the word is. We've already used that in this video. We are is nosotros somos. Anyways, I'm not going to keep going. What we need is where are you from? So tú eres, you are is tú eres. So we're going to have an eres in there. ¿Dónde eres? Now the word from is de. So this right now just means where are you? I can go in a little bit more in depth there, but don't worry about it. So, de donde eres is from where are you? From where are you? AKA, where are you from? You wouldn't be able to put the de here, donde eres de. If you did that, you would still be understood, but it's just like wrong. It's the wrong order. So, a lot of the times the order of the English sentence actually does overlap with the order of the Spanish sentence, but in some cases it doesn't. And really the only way you can learn that is by exposure and seeing sentences and getting a feel for it. Next sentence, just a little. So the word just a little, we can also say as only. So only a little. The word only, think about you when you're by yourself. It's only you. You're solo. So in Spanish, that's the word solo. Just or only is solo. So a little is un poquito or un poco. So altogether it's solo un poco or solo un poquito. Poco and poquito mean the same thing. They both mean a little. This ito is just what's known as a diminutive, which is how you make something smaller. So for example, my name is Alex. You could also call me Alexito, right? That would be like a diminutive, like a cute way of calling me, right? Or a kid, you would call a kid Alexito. You wouldn't really call a full-grown man Alexito because he'd probably slap you up. But anyways, just a little, solo un poco. Do you want coffee? So do, that question word does not exist in Spanish. So it's really just you want coffee. So querer is to want, you want. This is the present tense, you want. We're not saying you wanted coffee. We're not saying you will want coffee in the future tense. We're saying you want coffee in the present tense. So we'll go back here. Querer is an ER verb, and it's for you. So tú quieres. It's going to end with ES. Tú quieres café. It's going to be quieres café. Okay, don't worry. It's a little bit irregular, like that I comes in out of nowhere. We don't have time to jump into every single concept here, but this is how it would be. It would be quieres café. I need help. So here we need, or we have the verb necesitar so that's an AR verb. It's in the present tense. Once again, we're not saying I needed help in the past. We're not saying I will need help. We're saying right now I need help. So necesitar is an AR verb. I'll write it out for you, necesitar. And we need to conjugate it for yo, I. Yo necesito, it's going to end with O. The memory trick I always use is yo ends with O. Yo necesito. And then the word for help you just have to know is ayuda. So yo necesito ayuda. I am tired. So I am. tired. This is the one we're going to end the video on. So tired is cansado. Again, it's just memorizing that, cansado. Now, I am. When we were going over the conjugations of to be, I was showing you that it was yo soy, tu eres, but I actually can't remember now if I mentioned it in this video, but there's two to be's in Spanish. There's ser, which is these conjugations, and there's estar. Estar you're going to use more for states, and ser you're going to use more for inherent characteristics. So you being tired is your state. It's your current state. It's not an inherent characteristic of yours. You're not inherently tired, right? So estar is the verb we're going to use, and the way you conjugate that is yo estoy, tú estás, etc. We're not going to go into all the conjugations, but yeah, so this is an irregular verb. As you can tell, I said that yo ends with o, but in this case it ends with oy. I know this seems crazy if you're just starting in Spanish, like there's so many irregularities, but trust me, as overwhelming as it is, there are ways to learn it. I became fluent myself from scratch without a teacher, without practice partners, so you can remember this stuff. You just have to actually use it and understand it. So, estoy cansado is the answer here. Or if you're a girl, estoy cansada. Anyways, I hope that helps. I don't know, like we can keep going and going. But basically, when you're going through Spanish, actually try to understand how things work, why they are the way they are. That way you can apply it and modify it and say, instead of I don't know, yo no sé, you could say, you don't know, tú no sabes. He doesn't know, él no sabe. We don't know, nosotros no sabemos, etc. So really, the main takeaway here isn't that you learned a bunch of new phrases. The main takeaway is that you learned how to learn. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Peace.